Pedro, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
What do you have to tell us about today's exhibition?
In fact, we thank God Almighty for His magnanimity and His love upon the XJAYS family. I asked for a fair weather. He gave me 3 days fair weather. And you can see that the guests are coming out in masses. And you know, anything maiden edition is usually difficult. But we thank the chairman of LOC for his full job he has done. I think I will rate it a big success.
The companies that are here today, are they strictly XJAYS?
All you're seeing here today in the business exhibition is strictly XJAYS.
Okay. And they came from all over the country?
All over the country. Even there's an international exhibition that will be unmasked very soon.
That's good. Then what do you have to say about the turnout?
Well, we thank God. What you are seeing today, if you look around there, you see the medical team at work. So the turnout is very impressive. Many are still on their way. And, well, the insecurity in the country contributed a lot, but despite that all, we've been able to overcome it.
Thank you. Are we expecting more of this?
Yes, more. If not yearly, at least biannually.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
God bless you.
God bless.
Thanks.
May you tell us your name?
My name is Anthony Mad. People call me Usun. I'm the international president.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
God bless you, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I hope you all slept well. Not minding the sanitation that was supposed to be, that never was. And we want to welcome everybody here today. It is a beautiful day, and XJAYS have made it so possible for us all to be here today. Comfortable, that's the most important thing. We assure you that we're going to keep you comfortable throughout our summit. We're going to run it the way we want it. Get all the professors that are in the house. I believe everybody is going to be in a good state of mind so that we can have a beautiful program and a good summit. My name is Good Night. Mbotodima. I don't mind to make sure that you are comfortable. Professors here, and it is a big honor that I know how we began. I did everything like that. That is, it was so bad that, like I said, I would have become a priest. So that early in the morning, when I meet my daddy, he will say, good morning, Father. I will tell you, God bless you, my son. If it's not the way to pay my father back, Sir, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Can we clap for him, please? Beautiful. Sir, you allow me to draw this thing down a little, right? Yes. For me that is talking, I have taken the second job. So I'm covered. Even if I sneeze here, nobody was going to run away. This certificate is short. I'm going to go to my car, bring down medical, introduce my president that has been working round. Yesterday, I saw him go around, do the introductions, go through the canopies and all that. I didn't expect him to be here early, but he's still here early. I'm talking about a perfect gentleman, the president of XJAYS International. He's not another person than my dear lovely man, Chief Tony Madu. You're welcome, sir. Yes, you're welcome. I wish everybody can emulate you for your punctuality and everything. Is he here? He's on his way. Beautiful. And then our other keynote speaker, Vincent Uchenna Abadon. Is he here? Where is he? You're welcome, Reverend. Thank you. You're welcome. And we're still going to go on. But first of all, since I've introduced our second speaker, and he's a reverend, I don't know if you can permit me for him to do the opening prayer so that we can stand up. Equally introducing Engineer Muoghalu, who is going to take us on the role of leadership, entrepreneurship, and networking. Can we clap for Engineer Muoghalu, please? You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much, and thank you very much for being here. So, my man here, my co-MC, my senior co-MC, because I can't talk to you, you know, I am supposed to be under you. My senior co-MC is here, and he will do the job of calling the big names that are going to be here to grace the occasion. So, but what I play is, I work here because he microphone, you understand? Please, can we give a clap for Ino Edo? Am I right for the conversation?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If you were observant, you would have seen them giving me a crash program on the MC sheet. I'm not good at talking, and I told the people have failed. Be that as it may, our gratitude goes to God Almighty for what we are today and for whom we are. And after God, it is the Marist Brothers. These are alumni of Marist Brothers Juniorate. Way back in the 80s, when some of us joined, Marist Brothers was still a district. District because from the little knowledge I had, they were getting some kind of help from, here and there. But today, in my own eyes, it was elevated to the status of a province. I recall that some time ago, it was district of Nigeria and Ghana. But today, it is province of Nigeria, contributing immensely to formation of youths in Africa. And today in our midst, remember Jesus told the people something greater than Jonah is here. I don't know some of us that don't have the same background with us. If you know the person that is here in our midst, that is the provincial spirit of all the Marist Brothers. That is very Reverend Brother Vincent Abadon. When we all saw him, we felt like, I don't know. So that is the person waving to us. Well, you are not for humility. I can't say anything more. I know that is you people have been teaching us that. So Brother Abadon, we feel highly elated to have you in our midst. Then he also came with another powerful person. That is, when we talk of formation, okay, Brother, I think LOC members, I think he's supposed to be somewhere here. Okay. Okay, brother, you're welcome. We can do better than that. Let us put our hands together for brother. Brother, you're highly welcome. Welcome, brother. The first school of the Marist Brothers we know is Marist Brothers Juniorate. That is their first one. That is who we passed through. Comprehensive Academy, our sister school there. We have someone who was drafted into the information team to refocus that school. And that person is so close to me, and I call him Workaholic Henry. Not to please his ears, not to flatter him. This is a man that works round the clock. Anytime you call him, chat him 1 a.m., he's there. And he's here in our midst. Video, okay. Because that is what you choose. And you are carrying a burden happily. We owe you our prayers. You're welcome, brother. Another person that left his crowded desk to be here with us is Brother Omutaro. If you recall, those of us that were there in the 80s, if you remember Omutaro, this is his younger brother. A perfect gentleman. You will know he's there. If he's going, you won't hear his footsteps. But he plays a lot of behind the curtain roles in what the Marist Brothers are doing. So, brother Omutaro, please step forward, please. So, MC, good noise. Now, can you look at good noise? A noise that is good. I'm hearing this is a new lexicon to me. A noise that is good. Make a joyful noise unto God. Make a joyful noise unto God now. Praise the Lord. I think it is only God that has a noise that is good. He's a belating God. So I hand over the microphone to him. Thank you.
Because like my senior co-MC said, it's only God that makes the good noise. And we have to invite God first to make that good noise. So that, can you help us with the opening prayer, please? Thank you so much.
Let us rise up and pray. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our help in the name of the Lord, in heaven and earth. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit. Lord Jesus, we thank you for today. We thank you for the opportunity of what that you have gathered in this business summit. We thank you for the life of the XJAYS worldwide. We thank you for the leadership of XJAYS. We thank you for the this business seminar. We commit all we're going to do into your hands to direct all our activities. We pray for those coming on the way. We pray that you grant them joy and mercies. We thank you and we commit everything to your hand. May we take total control of it. All this we ask through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. Mary, seat of wisdom. Saint Mass and Champagne. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you so much for that. The only place to be in New Heaven, if you want to get killed, is Mount Carmel. And he is here amongst us. Although that he didn't have a canopy there, you know. I would have brought somebody there so you can do that there. So please, can we clap for Dr. Emeka Anidi? So come up and help us with our excitation. He's the one that is going to tell us who is going to talk about. Thank you so much. And before he does that, I needed to ask a question. If anybody can answer that here. Can someone tell me the difference between a new husband and a new dog? Don't laugh. A new husband and a new dog. The women will even answer that more. Anybody? I keep asking and people are kept failing. The difference between a new husband and a new dog is that after 1 year, the dog is still excited to see. Praise the Lord.
Okay, it won't be right to say it's a citation because it's not complete. But we have a chairman who has been introduced, and we have a chairman who has been introduced, but we still need to say a little more about it. Professor Obinna Onodugu, a lot of you know him very well, but maybe not as well as you should, at least you've seen his name and his image in our print works. He's the current Chief Medical Director of UNTH, Ụtụru, a consultant nephrologist by training. And he was a former NMA chairman in Enugu Chapter. And before he became the Chief Medical Director of the UNTH, he had been the Chairman Medical Advisory Committee, like the second person in the system, for a number of years in UNTH. A progressive with a very good heart and a community developer. He had done so much in his community that he got the title Enugu. So if you want to address him as Enugu, know that's his title. Well, Dr. Professor Odugo, I will describe as a great visionary. If you had been to the teaching hospital, that's UNTH, some years back, take 2, 3, 4 years back, and today, you will attest to what I'm talking about. The transformation that he has brought into the place is very, very, very obvious. So I really want to appreciate, like I said, it's not a complete information about him. There's so much more to be said, but we don't really have that much time. And I want to say a very big thank you to him for finding time to come out here and be with us. Although he has hinted me that his time with us may be short, but let's see how it goes. Thank you, sir.
Yes. I will hand over the microphone to you. I hope they have brought the colonels. The colonels. No, we can't continue without the colonels. To the gym, they came out and the fat woman was so furious. She was just shouting, I will kill that, destroy that weighing machine. The two women just looked at her and said, what is the problem? And she said, anytime she enters the weighing machine, it will be saying one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. Prof, we're going to do it one at a time. Over to you. But promise me you're not going to run away. You will stay with us till the end. No, I don't like the word for now. You will stay with me. Thank you, sir.
You know that, well, with all due respect to the father, as a man is not just physical, we also have soul and spirit, things like that. So when my physical body moves, my spirit will be with you. I shall, so I'm here. The provincial superior of Marist Brothers of the schools, Brother Vincent, seated here with us. I hear he's the one in charge of the entire province. It's not a small thing, it's a big deal. It's a pleasure to have you. The principal of the school, is the most energetic Brother Henry. Yes, and all the other brothers. Reminds me of, in fact, a part of me grew up in CIC, where there's a reputable Brother Henry. Brother Henry, he is reputed as the principal that did most of the transformation at CIC. So since then, I've always held brothers in high esteem because they are not noisy, they are not worldly, they basically do their things and do it well. It's a pleasure to have you. I also want to recognize the president of the XJAYS, Chief Anthony Mado, a gentleman. It's a pleasure to have you too. It's a pleasure to be in your midst. I'm happy to be with you. Another guest lecturer, Engineer Wodo here, who has international exposure and currently working with His Excellency the Governor of Enugu State, a great guy. Within this short time I've been with him, it's been amazing talking with him. We also have Barrister Agu here, who is a top entrepreneur. So I must say I'm happy to be in your midst. All XJAYS, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that it's actually my pleasure. It's actually my pleasure to be with you, and an honor that looking through the whole of the country, the person you felt that is deserving of chairing your occasion is common me. So I'm quite humbled by that elevation, and by that honor you gave me. Luckily for me, I'm not a stranger amongst you. Half of the people here are my friends. In fact, I was telling the president that today he's going to induct me into as an exit because I know practically all of you. You know, with Lajo, Emeka Andide, who has been my very long time standing colleague and partner. I've worked with Emeka very, very closely in so many facets of life. So starting with him, once you're with Emeka, you can't help but keep hearing about old boys of the Marist. At a point, he almost made me start regretting that I didn't go to Ụtụru. He was full of stories about Ụtụru. So I'm quite honored. Indeed, when they came to see me to become the chairman, you know, I've been trying to run away from public appearances. But I couldn't run away because Emeka would, he knows where to hold me and turn my twist, you know. So it wasn't difficult for me to agree. Again, an opportunity to actually be with the old boys of the Marist Brothers. I couldn't reject it. So I'm really happy to be here, to be in your midst. And the topics, or rather, in fact, even the main topic of this, which is a business summit and exhibition, that was going to look at the role of the old boys in building entrepreneurship and leadership amongst the youth. That is really a topic after my heart. That is what I've been trying to do all my life. In fact, even this CMD that I am, I'm trying to see how to use it to build the youth. It's all about youth for me. From here, why I might leave you, good noise, is that from here, I have another function, that I'm going to be the special guest of honor. Guest of honor. The special guest of honor is the deputy governor, whom I brought. They asked me to be the special guest of honor.
At 2 o'clock?
No, it's actually by 11:30. They are doing Just Girls Initiative. The medical students, the girls, they got my wife to become, my wife is also a doctor, she's a consultant skin specialist. So they got her to become their patroness. And so she dragged me in. And I was supposed to be the guest of honor, development. They want to, you know, teach girls or encourage girls to become leaders, to become not just mothers, to also become leaders of society, shapers of the society and all that. So it was something I was very happy about. But I told her that it's better that we get the deputy governor to come and be the guest because it's a women thing. She was also going to give it the proper visuals that it requires. So we asked her to come and she graciously agreed to come. While my dissertation was going on, she called me that the deputy governor was on the way. And I wanted to be there before her. What I'm trying to say is that youth development, it is something that I love. And I'm very happy because if you go to CIC now, the old boys have really done a lot in CIC. You can hardly recognize CIC for what it was. That's the place where I was, where I lived. And then I was passing the place and I was just like, what is going on here? They've transformed the place. The old boys at Africa were doing a lot. And the old boys of Ụtụru also doing a lot. But now adding a new dimension to it. It's no longer just about building structures or infrastructure. It's not about building the man, building the youth. So it's such a wonderful thing. I so love this. And for me, you have become trailblazers. By the time others see what you're doing and copy it, believe you me, the impact is going to be massive. Like Emeka said, they call me Ekuhelu Ngene in my village. Ekuhelu Ngene is like a river, okay? Ekuhelu is a dialect of mine that suggests you cannot exhaust. You can only kuhelu
You can't kuchelu. You can't finish it. So, ikuhelu your own. So, but then it suggests like I'm a rich man. It's not that. So the ekuhelu ngene, they are about resources, not financial resources, but availability to assist. I am available. That is the resource. That is the ngene. Yeah. My own ngene is availability. Then the ekuhelu is people who now come and take parts of it. So in my village, I've been involved in a lot of this build-up. And I tell you why I'm telling this story is so that you know the effect. Truly, when we started the youth development programs in the village some 15 years ago or so, it was looking like we were joking. But today, the transformation amongst the youth has been massive. We have a foundation that anchors on education, on entrepreneurship, and a lot of people have gained from it. We have seen a lot of young entrepreneurs, and it's just amazing. So I love what you're doing. This is a beautiful development. I believe that if this succeeds like it is going to succeed, a lot of other old boys associations shall copy it, and the transformation nationwide will be massive. Therefore, on that note, I want to thank the organizers of this event, and also thank those that have accepted to come and deliver their lectures. Because it's not easy to prepare. I'm a lecturer. It's not easy to prepare a lecture where you get people's attention. It's not easy. So I want to thank them. They left their very busy schedules to come here. The keynote address, the superior himself, I'm sure he's a very busy person. He left all that to come here. It all underlines the importance of this event. And I want to thank them in a very special way on your behalf. And I want to thank everybody, ladies and gentlemen, that are here, and wish us a beautiful deliberation. My prayer is that at the end of the day, here I have a Kampolo, and the transformation for Nigerians will be massive. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Prof. While we are waiting for the lights to come, we'll recognize and call on the IT our lecturer that is in our midst, that is going to take us on a brand in a diverse community. He's no other person than Chief Chidi Opala. Is he here? Okay, he's already here. Sorry. Yes. Chief, sorry, but you're welcome. You bring the microphone there? Okay.
The chairman, Professor Obinna Onodugu, Ekuhelu. Honorable Engineer Ambrose Modo, highly recognized presence. Our Father in the Lord, and our able spiritual leader, Very Reverend Father Vincent, Very Reverend Brother Vincent Abado, you're highly welcome. The Director, Marist Brothers Juniorate, Brother Henry Ozo, the gentleman of the year. Reverend Brother Nnodu Onwata, the Provincial Secretary. Distinguished guests, guest speakers, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, XJAYS, XJAYS, Marist. In a special way, I acknowledge our very seniors in our midst. Dr. Nede, our Emeritus 1, Sir Innocent, Emeritus 2, Emeritus 3 in absentia, and Emeritus 4. I humbly present this address to you. It is my singular honor and privilege to welcome you all to this maiden XJAYS International Business Summit and Exhibition. With the source of COVID-19 pandemic and the high level of insecurity in the country, I have made such a gathering impossible. But we give God to Almighty God, who has made it possible for this event to hold today despite all odds. The theme of this event, the role of Alumni Associations in leadership, entrepreneurship, and networking for the Nigerian youth, is apt and essential to the rapid, sustained infrastructural and economic growth of the Nigerian youth. It's also worth to note that discussions have been carefully selected to effectively address the theme. I particularly welcome the chairman of this great association. I particularly welcome the chairman of this great occasion, Professor Obinna Onodugu, Chief Medical Director, University of Enugu State Hospital. I also sincerely welcome our guest, our chief host, His Excellency in absentia, the Buruburu, the Governor of Enugu State, Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi Buruburu, our Mother of the Day, Her Excellency, Chief Mrs. Cecilia Ezolo in absentia, the Deputy Governor of Enugu State, and all our invited guests of honors. In addition, let me respectfully acknowledge in our midst leadership and members of XJAYS body, both at international and chapter levels, past, present, captains of industries, chief executives, among others. Finally, Your Excellencies, distinguished chairman, members of XJAYS Association, ladies and gentlemen, this maiden event offers us a unique platform to deliberate on topical issues affecting us, reflecting on the role of Alumni Association in leadership, entrepreneurship, and networking for the Nigerian youth and provide vibrant resolutions. This will help reposition Alumni Association in Nigeria, maximize the immense potentials that exist as an integral component in the sustainable socio-economic and infrastructural development of Nigeria. Thank you all, and may God bless us all. Thank you all, and may God bless us all. Your humble servant, Tony Maji.
Thank you, Presto. XJAYS, we move. So without wasting much of the time, we're going to go on to our keynote speech for the day. Reverend sir. And we are using the opportunity to thank our chairman. I know you are going to come back again after seeing the Excellency. Please, we need you back. Thank you so much.
The chairman, Professor Obinna Onodugu, just left. Our honorable speakers, invited guests, my fellow XJAYS, the President, XJAYS International, and the executives, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by thanking the organizers of this Median International Business Summit and Exhibition. Let me also recognize and thank all the accomplished speakers who are going to grace this event and contribute their ideas for our benefit. Most importantly, I would like to appreciate all participants of this business summit and the exhibition. The fact that you are participating here, investing your time, energy, and focus to address critical issues facing our country today indicates our quality of character that is vitally needed if we are to build a better future. Simply put, I believe that you are joining here because you care, because you want to make a positive difference, and because you are ready to make action for a greater good. It is very meaningful and worthwhile that you have decided to address critical issues of the role of leadership and Nigerian youths, entrepreneurship as the future, the place of mentorship and the alumni, using mentoring as a catalyst for change, and entrepreneurship education and employment generation among the youths. I am quite sure that the discussions throughout this forum will be informative, practical, and actionable. I appreciate the opportunity to share some thoughts on leadership at the onset, in particular on the theme you have chosen, the role of Alumni Associations in leadership, entrepreneurship, and networking for the Nigerian youth. As we all know, today the world faces dramatically new and challenging circumstances. The unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic is reverberating around the world with potentially far-reaching social, economic, and geographical implications. Such challenges can be daunting, but can also open significant new opportunities. Whatever issue one may hope to confront today in Nigeria and in the world, leadership is the most essential key to success. Before addressing the more specific issues of this forum, it is worthwhile to consider a larger perspective on important aspects of leadership. The population of Nigeria is about 200 million, and the National Population Commission states that about 60% of the population is made up of youths, defined as individuals between 15 and 34 years of age. This depicts that we have the youngest workforce in the world and most mobile. A huge number of these young people are school dropouts due to poverty and related problems. Those of them that went to school and are well qualified cannot even find jobs. Our youths are so insecure, frustrated, and depressed. These have made some of them to illegally depart this country in search of greener pastures elsewhere, and in the process, some have lost their lives. Others have engaged in one crime or the other, such as drug abuse, robbery, kidnapping, etc. Our country, Nigeria, is a country God has blessed with a lot of natural resources and human resources. How possible then that 87% of Nigerians with all her rich natural resources live on poverty line or below? What a pity. I think that it is so just because we lack ethical leaders. And for us to mentor the Nigerian youths, my dear brothers and sisters, we must develop ethical or moral leadership skills which communicate values to them. We know of great transformative leaders of the 20th century, people like Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, and Mandela. They were such persons of moral authority. If we must make a quality impact on the youths of Nigeria, we must join politics so as to defend their rights and the dignities. Time has passed when people thought that politics is only for elderly people who are already tired of life. Nigerian youths need us in politics. They need people who can speak for them, people who will give them hope, people who will liberate them, people that will create jobs for them and give them hope, people that will walk their talk. Many of them are despondent. Check out the number of our youths walking down the streets with loose minds, frustration. I met one in the prison in one of my travels in one of the European countries, and as I was discussing with him the way forward on how to get his freedom back and go back to Nigeria, he gave me the greatest shock of my life by telling me that for him, it is better to remain in prison in that country than to be free in the streets of Nigeria. As if that was not enough, he added, "Here, I am sure of my meals, unlike if I am to be in Nigeria, even free." What a pity. What do I mean by ethical or moral leadership? Ethical or moral leadership is the leadership qualities needed for our time. It focuses on appropriate conduct true respect for ethics and values, as well as the rights and dignity of others. It can also be referred to as transformational or innovative leadership. The concepts of honesty, integrity, trust, and fairness are all critical to ethical leadership. A moral leader has integrity and is committed to advance the greater good before self-interest. No wonder Andrew Lay stated that to be an ethical leader is indeed to be different. This kind of leader acknowledges the complexity of running a responsible business. Ethical leadership can provide values to businesses and organizations by inspiring employees and followers to be motivated and live up to the organization's or company's values. Values are principles or standards of behavior. For sociologists, they are socially approved desires and goals that are internalized. What are the values you learned as you were growing up? I know that one of the greatest, strongest values inculcated in us in juniorate was prayer, as well as hard work, among others. These are intrinsic and ultimate values. What are the values you as a person you are living today? What values are you instilling in your children, employees, followers, colleagues, etc.? Principled leaders should exhibit ethical and appropriate behaviors in every facet of their life over time, even when their behavior is not necessarily observable by their employees and followers. Ethical leadership may even occasionally be unpleasant. For example, when it involves terminating an employee who uses company property for personal ends. Nevertheless, maintaining your integrity is of paramount importance to leaders. Ethics must begin at the top of an organization. It is a leadership issue, and the chief executive must set the example, said Edward Henderson. Principal leaders work to create an ethical work culture. This means that a work environment is governed by a fair and well-expressed set of rules and not by who is involved or politics. In an ethical work culture, an organizational management articulates a set of principles that are understood and bought into by everyone in the organization. Every element of the business, from performance reviews and mentoring to compensation, reflects the ethical principles that are articulated from the top. Just to mention but few key elements of ethical leadership. We have passion, visionary, charismatic, honesty, justice, respect, integrity. In conclusion, ethical leadership is an important leadership skill that can help in all aspects of your career. When a leader and his or her company consistently do the right thing, employees will be aware of the foundations of their leadership. Management's actions convey to the rest of the company that the leaders act with integrity. This in turn means employees will be more proactive about communication, including when things go wrong. It is good to remember that the essence of our humanity, individually and collectively, and the essence of life itself is tangible, and we could say spiritual in nature. We naturally and intuitively recognize that every person has value, has worth. If we adopt the framework of ethical and innovative leadership, we are choosing to guide our path by an ethical compass while unlocking our creativity to transform. You can be a leader with compassion and integrity, engaging with personal and collective ingenuity to develop innovative solutions for our challenged world. I sincerely hope that this summit will be a meaningful, stimulating, and rewarding experience for us. May it motivate us to serve the greater good, to dream big and act big, to build a just and friendly world that will give hope to our young people. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Reverend Brother Abado. Thank you for that speech.
Please, for our esteemed guests and friends of XJAYS here that may not know, we are also proud to say that the provincial student is one of us. If you don't know, it's an XJ. So by the time we are done with the formal things, the formal outings, I know the gentleman you are going to go, he's going to be here with us. Brother, till 12 midnight, you will go. Thank you.
Thank you so much. A man bought a lie detector and he chose to test it during dinner. He brought the robot, the lie detector, placed it there and put it on, and asked the son, "Where were you during school hours?" And the son said, "At school, Daddy." And the robot slapped the boy. And the robot slapped the man. 2-1. And the mother was there laughing. After all, he's your son. And the robot slapped him.
Brother, I'm making it. Brother Steve. I'm fine.
So we're going to go on from there. They are here, sorry, only responsible. Thank you very much. We are welcoming our sole sponsor of this XJAYS International Event, VFD Microfinance Bank Limited. Can we clap for them, please?
Thank you. My name is Ebere Ahotu from VFD Microfinance Bank, popularly known as VBank. And from yesterday up until today, I've been hearing one constant being repeated, which is XJAYS for XJAYS. Even the chairman mentioned that when he came to our stand yesterday, when he was doing one round. And I think it's something that is very encouraging. Standing on all existing protocols, want to repeat what the chairman said. He went through that very well when he spoke. So VFD Group is champion by Nassau Bala. For those of us that might not know, Nassau is also an XJ. And I think 1996. So it's champion by Nassau Bala, and we're a group, like the name implies, which means we are into a host of businesses, not just the banking. Banking is just one arm of what we do. We're into hospitality, we're into real estate, we're into banking, we're into technology, we're into a couple of things. But today we are here at VBank, like I was introduced, so let me talk to us about how we intend to support XJAYS and people related to us in line with the topic we've selected for this year's Business Summit. So as a bank, we focus on 4 main areas, which I would like to talk about today. Very briefly, I'm not going to take our time. The first part is we are in the business of actualizing dreams. When the Reverend spoke, he said we should dream big and act big. And we understand that in a lot of cases, this is not very possible unless you have some sort of financial backing. And this backing can come in some form of support from the bank in terms of loan and investment. So in the business of actualizing dreams, we are big in business loans and individual loans. So if you have a business today and you're looking at expansion, or you're looking at working capital, or you're looking at, just putting in more money into your business to be able to deliver more to your customers, we are into this. You can speak to us. We have a stand outside, and some of our members are also working around to speak to us and let us open an account and engage us on how we can support you. So we are in the business of loans, both business and personal, and for SMEs as well, small businesses. The second bit, very good rates. I know when you hear about loans, you think about interest rates, which is what commercial banks do. They charge a lot, but we are not like that. Like our name says, we're microfinance banks. So even by regulation, we are encouraged to give loans at very low interest rates to encourage businesses. Just before I continue, let me also mention that we are one of the very first to pioneer the idea of digital banking. Digital banking simply means that, so this is something that's also very dear to Nassau himself, because when he talks about it, you see the passion and the belief, and even my GMD himself, my MD, something they're very passionate about. We're one of the first to pioneer digital banking, which means that you can be anywhere in the world and you can open a bank account and you can start transacting immediately once you open that bank account. In 2 minutes, some of us have opened this account, you know how it works. You simply go to the App Store, you download the app, and you register, put in your BVN and some other details, and instantly you get the bank account and you can start transacting, and just like that. So we're one of the first to pioneer this, and we intend to push it and continue to push it to the ultimate goal. The second bit of what we do is investments. I know because we're XJAYS and a lot of us are very distinguished and very well established. We have money sitting around here and there, from our businesses and our personal finances. So VFD is in the business, or VBank is in the business of helping you multiply your wealth in the means of investment. So when you bring this money to VBank, we'll give you very good interest rates for your money. You keep it 3 months, 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, and at the end of the tenure, you get very good interest rates, something that you might not be able to get from any other bank in Nigeria today. We're one of the banks that give the highest interest rates, so we're also big in investment. The other part is business advisory. I know that some of us may not understand this, but where we're coming from Lagos, it's a big deal if you run afoul of regulation. Maybe you're doing something with your clear heart, but for some reason you didn't stick to the line the government has said you should go. And tomorrow you see people harassing you to say, you didn't pay this tax, or you didn't do this, or you didn't do that. So VFD also is in the line of business advisory. What this means is we'll allow you to focus on your core business, the thing you understand. We'll allow you to focus on it. What will take care of all these other areas, our business advisory, to ensure that while you're running your business, the other parts are also taken care of, so that tomorrow, when you're thinking about expanding, or even looking for foreign investment, nobody will come out to say that in 1992 or in 1995, it missed this regulation, it didn't follow this regulation. So we are very big on that. Because of our experience over the years, we are able to advise businesses on how to structure themselves, whether it's to retrieve investments or to get loans from bank or whatever business advice you need. We are big in that, and we can handhold you to make sure you deliver on that. Then the last bit of what we are big on is enablement with technology. Because as a group, VFD group, we are big in banking or finance. We are also big in technology and a host of other businesses we do. The technology arm ensures that we know what happened last year when COVID came out and a lot of businesses were asked to shut down and go home. You can't even come out of your house to operate or to even open your shop. What we observed that period was that a lot of businesses could not continue because they folded, they couldn't sell to their customers. But what VFD or VBank is able to do for you is to put technology in your business so that you're able to continue selling to your customers. So whether it's websites or mobile banking app, or just to automate, just give you something similar to what we use to operate today. Bring you to the digital realm so that you're able to operate even in lockdown, even if you're not coming out of your house. Your customers are still able to make order from you and get their goods or their requests delivered. So we are big in this area. Just to summarize, I'm not here to talk too much. Loans, we are big in loans. I know you understand this part very well. Investments, we give you high rates on your investment with us. Business advice rate, so that to be sure that not when you want to expand or look for foreign investment, you start hearing that in 1992 or 1995, they didn't follow this rule that the government put together. So we also advise you on how to navigate the regulatory space based on our experience. Then enable your business with technology, which cannot be overemphasized in this day and age of COVID and lockdown. So in summary, we are very happy to be here as VFD Group. It didn't take much to convince Monso for us to be here, as a couple of people have mentioned. We are the gold sponsor, and it's intentional, and it's because of Monso and the love he has for this organization. So we'll continue to support in any way we can. We also want to continue to be part of this event, even if next year, next 2 years, next 10 years, next 20 years. As much as we can. Lastly, just to mention, a couple of months ago, we also had graduate training program, which saw a lot of young graduates apply to join our company. We had over 300 applications, and we are taking as much as we can from that pool. And that is also in line of making sure that our country becomes better through employment, and ensuring that we contribute our product to national development. So thank you very much. We are around. And sorry, they will punish me if I don't say this. My company will punish me. XJAYS is for XJAYS, so it's important that we all open accounts to VBank. Our people are outside. They're also moving around. They will come and meet you. Please, when they come and meet you, I know we're very busy people. Please give us 2 or 3 minutes. I'll give them 2 or 3 minutes to talk to you and open this account. Even businesses and individuals, we are here to serve you. So please open accounts with us so that we can kick off this engagement and support you in these 4 different ways I've mentioned. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Can we clap for him once again? Now, 2 minutes now. I'm going to get him
Yes.
Under 2 minutes, right?
Yes, 2 minutes.
Well, I'm going to kick it in. You're going to reach 100 million. Seriously? Thank you very much. We will go on. But before we go on to our keynote summary, the next lecture for the day, and that's entrepreneurship as the future, the place of mentorship, and the alumni by our expert, David Ako. Is he here? Okay, you're already here. I don't like listening to men on suit. I don't know why. But I don't know what, I'm always afraid of men on suit. You can be trusted, right? Ask the teacher, sir, if you mix homo and clean together, does it foam? The teacher looked at him, said, how can you ask a stupid question at the beginning of the term? Are you sure you're going to pass this exam at all? Emeka looked at him and turned to the face and started laughing. I said, my friends, nah, it'd be like say this teacher now, if you can you imagine if you mix Omo with clean without water, is it going to fall? Are we sure we're going to pass this teacher is going to teach us anything at all? So amongst Emeka and the teacher, who will be the Momo? Mix Omo with clean, and it will form. It can't form except to add water. So I am learning. Thank you, sir. You're welcome. Please clap for me now. Beautiful. So, somebody else.
Another privilege, I've just been accorded another privilege. That is to quickly read a few things about the person that is going to address us. David Agbo is a legal luminary, that's how they say it. I think sometimes English and as practitioners, but luminary. I don't know what that means. A legal luminary with particular interest in corporate practice. With years of experience in the field of entrepreneurship as the founder and CEO of the Entrepreneur Africa 360 Limited, he is fondly called the lawyer-preneur by associates and followers, a lawyer-preneur. Through his role as the CEO of the Entrepreneur Africa, Mr. Agbo is a leading campaign for an entrepreneurship-driven Africa, with tens of thousands of young African entrepreneurs and ambitious youth impacted in the last few years through the instrumentality of platforms like the Entrepreneur Africa magazine. The Entrepreneur Africa Awards, Boss Lady Conference, and other impactful projects, all birthed through his leadership. David Agbo Esquire is also a business consultant, a speaker, and a mentor who has helped and continues to help several entrepreneurs and their businesses attain quick and lasting growth and profitability. He is also an agro-business enthusiast, as he recently launched Korochi Foods and Beverages, a foods packaging company that began making 7 figures in monthly revenue from the first month of operations. Why don't we put our hands together for this young man? Mr. Agbo's passion for writing is a gift he likes to share with the world. And through his literary works, he protests social ills and demands for positive changes. He is a regular guest and leading TV channels and radio stations in Nigeria, and has been a speaker on various stages and to diverse audiences in the country. And as he has been honored by various organizations and awards over the years, including a Youth Icon Award from a leading Nigerian university. He can be reached via the email in that brochure. Please just sit back and enjoy.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, gentlemen, and some ladies. Here. I would like to start on the existing protocol already established by the chairman of the occasion. But special thank you to our spiritual leaders for being here with us, and to my fellow speaker, thank you. And of course, chairman of the organizing committee, Sir Don, well done. Thank you for bringing me here. Event is what we do all the time in my company, so I know the pressure and the amount of resources and the energy that goes into putting up a magnificent event like this together. So well done to you and your committee members. And yes, they deserve that. And of course, to these distinguished members of the XJAYS, XJAYS International, the Old Boys Association of Marist Brothers Juniorate. I want to celebrate you and I want to thank you for having me. Thank you. So, the topic I'm supposed to speak on is entrepreneurship as the future, the place of mentorship and the alumni. But permit me to amend the first part of that topic a bit by saying that entrepreneurship as the present and the future. Because entrepreneurship right now is, as a matter of fact, the main thing that is sustaining our economy and that is keeping our country going. Imagine if our entrepreneurs were not doing the amazing work they are doing today and we were depending on the government. The country would have been a collapsed case long ago. So can we put our hands together for entrepreneurs in this country and particularly the entrepreneurs in this hall? Let me add that as I was coming into this venue and I looked at the grand setup, and as I looked through the membership of the XJAYS, the Old Boys Association of Marist Brothers, I saw the caliber of men that make up that association. I said to myself, I must tell anyone that I know, I should hustle so that your children can attend very good schools like Marist Brothers. And of course, eventually become members of a distinguished association like this Old Boys. And as I also look through this hall, I see that there are two age brackets there. There are the younger generation and there is a bit older generation and a bit more established people, which is how I think this country ought to be constituted, especially our leadership. If we had such membership altogether in government, we probably would be better off for it. Is that not the one? Oh, I just recognized someone from the Great Music, my colleague in the union back in the years. Welcome. So these two age brackets, and then there is me in the middle of it. So I have a bit of features of the younger generation and a bit of a bit older generation. So for the purpose of this event, you can say that I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody. Yes, entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, as a matter of fact, most times is defined in relation to a business person who comes up with an idea and takes the necessary steps to set it up into a business for the purpose of making profit. But as a matter of fact, it's broader than that. Entrepreneurship actually applies beyond the act of setting up a business. It applies in whatever you do in life. If you hope to rise to the top, whether you are an employee of a company or you are a business person, you need some elements of entrepreneurship to stand out and to rise to the very top. And some of those elements we are going to talk about later. But like I said, why the topic of this event is absolutely crucial is because of how important promotion of entrepreneurship is in this country now. I believe that if we must continue to rise to greatness as a nation, then the governments of this nation must take it as a priority to support our entrepreneurs. It's on record. I read a report by the United States of America Embassy in Nigeria recently, and they said that entrepreneurs in this country create 85% of jobs. 85% of the jobs in this country are created by entrepreneurs. And another report by PwC says that SMEs alone in this country create 84% of jobs that we have. What does that mean? It means that between 85% to maybe 90% of the jobs available in this country are created by entrepreneurs of all classes, both SMEs and the accomplished businesses. And what does that also mean? It means that all of our governments, with all their might and resources, they only create about 15 to 10% of jobs. So it means that, as a matter of fact, there should be priority, attention, and support given to entrepreneurs and the field of entrepreneurship. But I don't think we'll have much of that. But hopefully, the more we continue to talk in gatherings like this, the more we continue to preach this message, the more we begin to see improvements. A while ago, I was reading a piece of news where the president was telling Nigerian youths during an interview that the federal government doesn't have jobs anymore for the youth. And I said, okay, so this government has officially abdicated their duty of job creation. But then we are not surprised, we are hardly surprised by anything anymore in this country. But guess what? In the midst of that, Entrepreneurs say, you know what, Nigerians, don't worry, we've got you covered. We'll do what we know how to do best, which is create jobs for you. So I think we deserve to be celebrated. Or I'm thinking one day entrepreneurs in this country should probably go on strike. Like maybe not pay salaries for 5 months, like our governments often do. Not pay their workers' salary. So that these workers would understand the importance. Yeah. So, but let's assume, gentlemen, that what we have in this hall this afternoon are made up of 3 categories of people. Entrepreneurs who are already doing their thing, doing well. Newcomers in the field of entrepreneurship who have their startups, who just ventured into business. And then aspiring entrepreneurs, that's 9-to-5 workers, salary earners, who have passions and want to go into business, but they are still thinking about it. So let's assume that these are the 3 categories we have here. If that be the case, gentlemen, then we must understand that for us to succeed as entrepreneurs, there are principles. And those principles, as a matter of fact, cannot be exhausted in one sitting like this. It's not possible. So we'll try to do justice to a few of them within the time we have. The first principle, gentlemen, is start early. Start early, or at least start now. And start with what you have. The principle of starting early applies once in a lifetime. For instance, for those who are still young in this hall today, who are still maybe their 20s, you still have the opportunity to benefit from that principle of starting young. But for those who have missed it by virtue of probably the fact you are not that young anymore, and you are thinking, well, it's probably too late to start. It may be too late to start early, but it's not too late to start now. Are we together? Yes. Because whether you like it or not, if you truly, it depends on what you want out of life. But what you want out of life is to really be great, to accumulate wealth that becomes generational blessing, the kind of wealth that becomes legacy. Then entrepreneurship is what you must embrace. A salaried job is not a legacy you can leave for your children. No matter how much you earn as a salaried employee, it's not a legacy. If something happens to you, that's the end of it. Your children or generation after you cannot inherit that. But business is a legacy that you can leave. I've looked at the Forbes list of richest people in the world for the last couple of years. And in all of that, I'm not sure I've seen a salary earner. Right? So that means, as a matter of fact, if your desire is to be really, really great and wealthy in this world, in this lifetime, then you must embrace entrepreneurship. So, yes, back up to what I was saying, starting early, and maybe missing the opportunity to start early, you still have the opportunity to start now. People like Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, who today is the richest man in the world, I hear he's almost at $300 billion, and he's heading to $1 trillion. These were people who found their purpose early in life, but did not stop at that. They immediately pounced on it. At the age of 23, Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, was already a billionaire in dollars. Elon Musk, at the age of 27, sold his first company, which was called Zip2. He sold that company for $307 million at the age of 27. For him to have built it to that extent and sold it at 27, it means he probably started much, much earlier in life. The company that's called PayPal today was started by Elon Musk as well. And he started that in his 20s. All of what he eventually used to build the wealth he had today, the money he got from all those companies were what he used to start Tesla and SpaceX, which today are the companies that are making him a multi-billionaire that he is. So what that means is that, again, going back to the theme of this event, which is the place of mentorship and the place of the alumni, in raising our youth to become impactful entrepreneurs, impactful society leaders. That means that as a leader in this hall today, you have the role of encouraging those who are coming after you to start early, to take the opportunity that they still have. Like I said, if you miss it, you missed it. Hello? But for everybody in this hall, this one applies to you, and that's starting early. One of the problems we have as human beings is that we like to analyze and overanalyze. We like to plan and plan. Some people for the last 5 years have been planning to start that business or that venture. And you want to perfect the idea before you start. But guess what? It cannot be done. Perfection is not something you can obtain by planning. And the best form of planning is actually in doing. The only way you can perfect a plan is by executing it. So why not stop overanalyzing and actually get it done? And sometimes the fear is, what if I do it and I don't succeed? What if I put in this money and what will I do if it doesn't succeed? And that points to another problem we have, which is the fact that we're always thinking about what if. We're always thinking of what if it doesn't work out? What if it fails? But what if it succeeds? Have you thought about that? How much that can change your life? So I want us to begin to think about what if it succeeds, much more than thinking about what if it fails. Gentlemen, are we together? Yes, sir. I once had a staff in the business development area of my business, the business development manager, and I sent her out to go meet with a media organization to discuss partnerships for one of our projects. She came back and told me that it's not going to work out, and they said no. I said no, it's going to work out, because they stand to benefit more from this partnership than us. The following day I came to work and I told her to get into the car, and we drove to that company. I sat down with the management of that company, and as we left that office, we had a deal. She looked at me and said, how do you pull off this corporate stunt? She called it corporate stunt. That you always work out with a result. I say it's simple. I go there thinking of all the reasons why it will work. But I think you always go there thinking of all the reasons why it will not work out. So it's a reorientation that every one of us must carry out. And it's personal. I don't think anyone can help you with that. So as we live here today, let's begin to think about all the reasons why it will work out. All the reasons why we must start now. Don't be that person who comes out tomorrow and say, this guy is making a lot of money for this business, but that was my idea. I actually wanted to do this. And some people say, he stole my idea. No one stole your idea, Rebecca. No one stole your idea. You just did not act when you had the opportunity to. You are not the only one that God inspires. So don't sit down there thinking and trying to romance that idea, thinking that God will just give it for you. He inspires as many as possible, because we are all His children. So get it done while you still can. Again, during who was speaking earlier that talked about, yes, is the VFD Bank. The VFD Bank representative was talking about how their bank is the pioneer, one of the pioneers of digital banking in Nigeria today. He didn't say that they are the first, which would have been a lie, but he said they are one of the first, which is very true. But why I picked that point is, the thing about starting early does not just apply in age. Let me correct that. So you as a businessman here today, or you as a staff of a company, you still have the opportunity to start early. How? Let's say you are running a business and you've been running it a particular way for years, in an industry that runs that business in that particular way. Why not be the person that does it differently? The first introduce something new to that industry. Glo used to tout themselves as the first to innovate per second billing in the telecommunication industry, right? Globacom. That was their headline. That was something they used to push out there, and it worked out very well for them. Helped their brand a whole lot. So that is one thing you can do for your brand. Because technology has made it possible. People are starting ideas every day. Almost every business you can think of is already being run by someone. So you cannot start an industry again. It's very hard for you to say, I started this industry. I was the first to start this particular. No. But you can be the first to start doing it in a particular way. And guess what? That will stick with you for the life of that business. I read a book by Aki Alabi. I believe most of us here know Aki Alabi. A book titled Small Business, Big Money. I mean, if you're a business person here or you're going into business, I recommend that you go get that book. It's a fantastic book. And in one of the pages, Aki Alabi was talking about how he started Enablement. And he said that as at the time, there was sports betting in Nigeria. Even Nigerians were betting with global companies, online sports betting. But in Nigeria, there was no online sports betting, even though there was sports betting. So they had analog ways of betting. So he decided to start online betting. And that was when he created the NarraBet.com website. And guess what? That has kept it. Today, NarraBet is still one of the leading sports betting companies. Not because he was the first to start sports betting, but because he was the first to start online betting in Nigeria. So that is something to take home for your business and for your place of work. Are we together? Yeah. Then, the next principle, gentlemen, and some of the ladies, it says, choose your battles wisely. Choose your battles wisely. Then stay on it as focused as an eagle that is after a prey. The problem that most young people, especially have in this country, is that we have a problem with consistency. It's hard to focus, to stay on one thing. Because we have a lot of distractions. There's so much noise going on. Social media noise, internet noise, ideas are flying left, right, and center. And so it's hard to really sit on a particular business and see it through. Because as you're on it, somebody will come with another suggestion, and you see this one is making millions here and there, and you start feeling like a failure. Because if you're running that business for a year or 2 years and it's not working out, who told you a year or 2 years is enough to make a startup profitable? Some people spend 10 years on the business before it became profitable. Even Jumia that we know today, that is the biggest online shop in Nigeria and probably Africa, they were making losses for almost 10 years. So, but some of the businesses that become the greatest businesses ever are the ones that took time before they became profitable. So choose your battle wisely. If you want to go into entrepreneurship, or you're already an entrepreneur running a business and you want to expand, you want to introduce something new to your business, you need to think about it carefully and choose, not based on pressure, not based on, for instance, if you're a successful businessman here, you know that people will come with ideas on a daily basis. People will come in with suggestions of businesses that you should invest in. Am I correct? You cannot be successful and people are not coming to you with ideas. It means you are not successful enough yet. So I believe most people here who are doing work and relate. So, but you must resist the urge to jump on every idea that comes your way. One of my companies, the Karachi Foods and Beverages, we distribute, products to supermarkets. And one of the supermarkets that we supply in Lagos was doing very well with one branch in Victoria Island. And then within a short time, they started expanding. Before you know it, they had 5 branches in Lagos. And now the company is on the verge of collapse. The owner is owing millions, several millions of naira to vendors. He can't pay, he can't even pay workers. Why? Because he started that branch in Lagos, they were doing well, a lot of money was coming in. But he did not wait for the company to become self-sustaining. He jumped into establishing different branches, and now the business can no longer carry it. Because that's what that first one that is successful is the source. So when the source is not sustainable enough, it cannot handle itself, and you want to add other loads to it, it will collapse. And when it collapses, the others will join. So that's one thing we cannot play with. On the other hand, you want to go into a business or a new industry, you must ask yourself critical questions like, what do I know about this business? What's my set of skills that will be crucial to making this business successful? Have you looked at the financials? Some people, you want to go into a business that needs 100 million naira financing, and all you have is 100,000 naira. How do you expect that to work out? A business that needs 100 million, that's the one you want to go into. I can see Dr. Jesse on the banner here, and it makes me remember a business competition where he was one of the judges. And one of the contestants in that competition came up on stage to pitch his business idea. And then they asked him, how much do you need to finance the business? How much money do you need? Meanwhile, that competition, the winner was supposed to take home 10 million. That was the grand prize, right? But this young man walked up on stage, and when they asked him how much he would need, he said 5 billion. That was exactly the laughter and the reaction of the judges on the stage. They couldn't help it. They couldn't even be professional about it. That's the situation of a lot of people in this country. And then when the money doesn't come through, you start crying foul that there's no money in this country, that investors are not supporting young entrepreneurs. That's a lie. Nnamdi. That's a lie. Nnamdi. Choose your battle wisely. Right? So, if you have that 100,000, why not start a version of that business? For every 100 million naira business, there's always a 100,000 naira version of it. Are we together? Yeah. There's always a 100,000 version of it. But we just don't want to see it. It doesn't want to calm down. So choose your battles wisely. The next point says relationship. Relationship is the most important asset you can have as a business person or as a person of ambition, whether you are a salaried employee or whatever you are, relationships. As important as money is not the most important. Because money can be wiped away in a twinkle of an eye. In the snap of a finger, all your money is gone. But relationship is everlasting if it is well nurtured and well maintained. And there are different kinds of relationships that you can create. As a business person, the first and probably the most important relationship is your relationship with your customers. And I always say that there are 3 stages of customer relationships. The first stage is when they just come in to patronize you for the first time or to buy from you for the first time. That point, they are customers. But as a smart business person, you must endeavor to build that relationship from customer to friend, from friends to family. Gentlemen, when a customer becomes friends to your business, friends of your business, leave it. They will go advertising. Those are the kind of customers that go out on their own, advertising your business and talking to other people about you without you paying a dime. But when you grow that relationship from customer to friends and friends to family, the moment a customer becomes family, you can go and sleep. Nothing, no Jupiter can convince that customer to leave your business. Those are the ones that it's as if they're interested in the business, they want you to make money. They take it personal. That's the kind of relationship a smart entrepreneur must endeavor to build with customers. There are several ways to do that, but we don't have the time for me to go into that. Relationships. Relationships with those who are higher up in the industry, those who are higher up in life, and relationships with those who are on the same level with you as well. Every relationship has a time when it must come through for you. There's always a time for every form of relationship you have in your life and your business. If you're a small business owner here, how many graphic designers have you made friends with? How many web developers do you know and do you maintain relationships with? And so on and so forth. How many media people? Nowadays, if you are not visible online as a business person, you are nowhere. Right? If you are not visible on social media, not visible on the internet, on blogs, your business does not exist, literally. But a lot of times, people complain that they can't be that visible because they can't fund it. But how about building relationships that bring some of those things free of charge to you? How many media people do you know? How many reporters in newspaper houses do you know? Do you make friendships with? A reporter whom you know can have you visible on a newspaper for less than 20,000, sometimes maybe 10,000 naira. In a position that if a big company were to pay for the same service, they'll be paying 1 million naira. Am I communicating? So relationships helps you cheat. That is the only legal way you can cheat life. Are we together? So, but some people will say, me, I don't know how to network, or I don't know how to meet people. I don't know how to do this. In fact, someone will say people are harsh. What if I walk up to that man and I try to, establish conversation with him and exchange, and what if he's nasty to me? People are nasty. My dear, people are not. You are nasty. You are the one that is nasty, not people. You are being nasty to yourself. You are hindering yourself from moving forward if you deny yourself the opportunity to expand your tentacle through relationships. People don't bite. It depends on approach. And yes, of course, it's inevitable that people who are rude, there are some people that are difficult. Gaining access to them is worse than gaining access into a sorrow. But if you need something today, but still, one day a breakthrough will come. But then, relationship is a two-way thing, so you must not leave. Some people, after exchanging numbers, you never put a call through. You are waiting. And then you keep waiting on, if you are not careful, your business will collapse before you. So we cannot play with relationships, gentlemen. When everything else fails, when money fails you, when everything fails, it's relationship that comes through for you. So we must treat it with absolute importance. And the next principle says innovation. Innovation is a different way of doing things. The wow factor. And my advice to you here as a business person And as a matter of fact, what I would like the leaders in this hall to advise the upcoming ones, the young people in your industry, in your immediate environment or wherever, is that we must learn to shake up things a bit every now and then, in whatever business you do. Shake up things a bit. A few days ago, I think it was 2 days ago, Facebook announced that they have changed their names. How many people saw that news? Before, the Facebook parent company used to be called Facebook Incorporate. Under which you had WhatsApp, you had Instagram, and the rest. But Facebook decided to change their name, their parent company name, to Meta. I was wondering where that came from. So, but that is innovation. That is shaking up things a bit. Why did they do that? The initial parent company, Facebook Incorporated, had too much scandal attached to them already. And if they didn't do something quickly, it might overwhelm them. The company might go down because of the level of negativity already attributed to it. But you forget that Facebook Incorporated, has WhatsApp, has Instagram, and this other. So WhatsApp doesn't have as much scandal as Facebook. Instagram doesn't have as much scandal as well. But because they were all connected to the Facebook Incorporated, everything that affected Facebook affected all of them. But they were smart people and innovative people. And as much as they may not like their ways, whether it's cunning or manipulative, the point is that it's business. And in business, all is fair and square. So they changed them. So the point is, in whatever industry is, understand that there's huge competition now. We live in a world that is largely competitive. Because it's now a global village. You're no longer competing with the other shops that are nearest to your shop. You're not competing with businesses that are in America. You're in Nigeria, you're competing with businesses that are in UK. Why? Because of the internet. Something that you sell in your shop that is next to somebody's house, somebody in the next house would place an order for that same product somewhere in New York, and the product will deliver to him, and you're selling that same thing. So what that means is that you're not, stop thinking that your biggest competitions are those ones that are within your environment. No. So the question is, how do you constantly stay on top of your game to ensure that that business, that you do not lose that business or that customer to somebody elsewhere or to your next competition? The best way to do that is to constantly think of a better way of doing it. Right? So I would say that in business, the table shakers, your enemy will not see you coming. Because you continue to confuse your enemies. While they're still thinking that you are here, you are still doing it this way, you've already introduced a new way of doing it. And before they catch up, you are far gone. So innovation, constantly thinking of better ways and alternative ways. I always say that there is always an alternative, gentlemen. If you are doing a particular business and you are getting frustrated now because you think it's not moving again, my company represents one of the biggest, as a matter of fact, Polystar Electronics. Please, can we put our hands together for Polystar brand? This business is owned by an Igbo man from Enugu State, as a matter of fact. This brand called Polystar. And my company happens to be the media manager of the company nationwide. And in recent years, with COVID-19 and everything, a lot of businesses came down crashing. And Polystar too was affected. But we sat down and we ironed it out. And I said, there is an alternative. The company had been depending on the traditional means of distribution and all that, the traditional market, when there is another hugely untapped market for the electronics industry in Nigeria. So, don't think that's if you are getting frustrated, sit down. There is an alternative to that business. There's an alternative solution and a better way of doing it. Having done that, gentlemen, as a business person, discipline. That's the next point. Discipline. Discipline is being able to do it even when you don't feel like doing it. And as a business person, you cannot succeed. Your business cannot thrive if you are not disciplined. So there is self-discipline, there is financial discipline, and everything else in between. Discipline ensures that you understand that your business money is not your personal money. Hello? Some of us are in the habit of spending from company accounts, spending from any account that is available. Wherever there is money, expenses must be done. Life is for the living. And as a business person who is doing well, problems will come your way. People will come with loads of it. And if you're not disciplined, you go about helping every situation, but you cannot solve all problems of the world. But guess what? If you continue to go that way and your business fails, even those people you are trying to help will not come through for you. You discover you are so on your own. So So discipline involves financial discipline. Understand that the money, the business money, belongs to the business and not to you. And that's why, as an entrepreneur, you must learn to pay yourself. Every month or every week, you must have an amount that you allocate to yourself out of the business, just like you pay the salaries of your staff. It's very difficult to tell an entrepreneur to do that, but it's something that must be done because discipline requires that. Hello? It's easy to become complacent as an entrepreneur because you're not on your toes. Nobody's going to sack you tomorrow if you don't deliver, like you don't meet up target. So you're suddenly feeling like a CEO. I mean, it's not like you're feeling. You know you're the CEO, and a lot of times we would like to carry that title beyond. Hello, you're not CEO means the chief servant. You are the chief marketer. You are supposed to be the most hardworking. You are the public relations officer. You are the chief customer of everything rests on your table, and you must do it probably more than every other person. So to be able to continue to deliver, you must therefore continue to update yourself. Personal development. How much books do you read in a month? Which lectures do you attend? Which seminars do you attend? These things matter. Comfortable the way you're doing it. Your next competition is thinking of how to do it differently. So you must continue to update yourself. And it takes discipline to do that. And when we are done with that, gentlemen, the next discipline, the next principle that you must take note of is mentorship. And this is where we're heading to. Mentorship. Mentorship cannot be overemphasized. But funny enough, it's taken for granted in this part of the world. And one of the biggest problems though also is that even our successful people do not like to share their secrets. They do not like to share the roadmap that led them to where they are. If you ask an average successful man or woman in Nigeria today, how did you make it? They will tell you it's God. It's the grace of God, my brother. Hello, uncle. We know it's God. Isn't our God a wonderful God? It is. You want to set us up with God. You want us to say it's not God so that God will fire our village people. We know. But God did not come down to implement those steps for you. He inspired you and you took those steps. You failed in some, you rose, you tried it again, eventually discovered the formula and you succeeded. Why not help somebody else to avoid those mistakes? As God inspired you, why not inspire someone else? So let's learn to share. Let's learn to write books as well. The people coming after you need it. I'm saying this because the theme of this event is talking about the youth, about the role of the alumni. And I'm looking at alumni in a broader sense, not just the alumni of Marist Brothers. Alumni of life, the alumni of your village, the alumni of people that are coming after you. Or should I say, the old boys. So we must do our part, mentor someone today. No matter the level you are in life, there's always someone that you can mentor. And no matter the level you are in life, you deserve a mentor. I was watching an interview that involved Tony Enugu recently. And the almighty Tony Enugu, who is doing amazing things, can we also put our hands together for that man, please? It's not easy empowering thousands of African entrepreneurs with millions. This year is giving $5,000 each to 2,000 people from Nigeria and across Africa. Multiply that, $5,000 is now 2.something million naira. Amazing, amazing man. And Tony Enugu was sharing about his life. He was talking about how he goes to his mentor. The almighty Tony Enugu has a mentor. And his mentor is someone that probably doesn't have 10% of the material wealth that Tony has. But he goes to him. He said before he comes up with a new business, he goes to share it with the man and he listens to his advice. What that simply means is that no matter who you think you are here or today, you need a mentor. And in mentorship, there are two parties. Don't be a parasite as a mentee. Some people feel that once they have a mentor, that mentor has to solve all their problems, including financial troubles. So whenever they need financial help, they run to their mentor. You will tire him out or tire her out. So mentorship is about adding value. So there is the mentor and there is the mentee, and each party must add value to the relationship. Again, there are two types of mentorship. There is the direct mentorship and there is the indirect mentorship. We'll round up in a bit. And the direct mentorship is the one that is established between you and your mentor. You know that there is that relationship. But the indirect mentorship usually involves people who do not like, people who are self-motivated, right? Some people do not like to be responsible and accountable to another person all the time. But you also need a mentor. In that case, what you need is to build friendship with the person that is higher up. In the early days of my business, the Entrepreneur Africa, I used to go to Professor Part.1. We had a magazine by the same name, the Entrepreneur Africa magazine. It's still very much in existence. And we used to drop this magazine every month. Every month we have a new edition of the magazine. And what I used to do is, once we have a new edition, I take some copies and I run to Professor Part's office. And I sit down with Prof, I give him a copy. Prof will flip through it, he will comment some parts, he will criticize some parts. And at the end of the day, we'll have very valuable conversation. He will take pictures with the magazine, and we'll send it to bloggers, they will publish it. And it will be everywhere that Professor Part endorses the Entrepreneur Africa magazine. But the most important benefit I used to get from that relationship was that one-on-one. The confidence that he used to boost in me. When you sit down with Prof and he shares what made him Prof with you. So, we cannot begin to imagine the importance of mentorship in the lives of people. And close to indirect mentorship is role modeling. Gentlemen, role modeling involves people that you may never have the opportunity of meeting, but you are inspired by them. You can role model them because you don't have the opportunity to meet them. But when you're able to role model someone, when you eventually, luckily, meet with that person, mentorship ensues because they'll be so impressed at how much you were already taking after them. The owner of Stanel Group, Stanley Uzochukwu, I think it was Coursework's group chairman, Cosmos Madoka, that shared a story of how Stanley Uzochukwu used to give him gifts. He would meet him somewhere, he would give him money. The Coursework's group chairman, that's Coursework's Madoka, he was like, he would look at this young boy, like, why is this boy giving me money? Obviously, Chief Madoka does not need money. I mean, I don't think if he stops working now, his entire, the next generation coming after him will not suffer. Right? He doesn't need money. But this Stanley used to go give him money. But then he was impressed. He was surprised. And then one day, mentorship ensued. Even before they met, according to the story, Stanley was already had admired Chief Madoka. So he was role modeling his life after him. But when they eventually met, he took the smartest step that I would advise anyone here to take, which is adding value. So he became the first to add value. Even before asking for anything from Cosmos Madoka, he added to him. So it was easy for mentorship relationship to commence. And guess what? If the biggest and probably the first major investment the Stanley Group got came from Madoka himself. Came from him making recommendations to the bank. And he was able to get the kind of amount that I don't think you can get in this country without a property in Aso Rock or in Ikoyi and all that. He got that without collateral. Gentlemen, that's what value addition does for you in a mentorship relationship. And you must get one. And as we begin to round up this program, I would like to tell you that the best kind of friendship is the friendship where the friends win together. The best kind of association involves associates who win together. And for the XJAYS, the Old Boys Association of Marist Brothers, this has to be that association that stands as a support system to its members and to the current students, to those who are coming after you. This has to be that association that stands as a ladder that help one another rise up. It would be a shame that a member of this association needs a connection, needs a contact, or a guidance in whatever they do, and they're going elsewhere to look for it when there's someone in this association that has it. Thank you. So, XJAYS would be a better association, and as a matter of fact, the type that I believe that it's already becoming, if all members of XJAYS win together. Gentlemen, That is the kind of association I want to be a part of, and that is the type I believe you can become. Thank you so much. God bless
you. By the time you can see the trial, you know, and she said, used to give me gifts and expensive jewelry. How come you don't do it anymore? Give me expensive gifts and jewelry anymore. The man on top of nature and said, have you ever seen a fisherman giving worms to fish after it has been caught? The woman government, you know, yes, I enjoyed everything about the mentorship. Chicago, thank you so much. Just that, please can we go for him again? Just that sometimes I was lost in big numbers. You know, sometimes it's always good though, once you speak English, you know, you're not saying that I will be a family, you know. When you say English, I know you go. When you have to tell me who can say, hey, let's go and take him and show his family to know. Just my family to know for us. And a family person will tell you, and your house, unfortunately, the mother will be joking. Yes, I hate you, you know. Accommodating, brunch, breakfast, lunch. That's what we call it.
You guys virtually or practically ambushed me because nobody told me I was going to do this. So this is what I will do. I'll read from. It's okay. I'll read from what we have. Thank you. I'll read from what we have here about the great Kingsley Muoghalu OON. He is a Nigerian political economist, presidential aspirant 2023, a lawyer, an author, Ifekego of Nnewi Kingdom, former United Nations official and a politician. He served as Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, appointed by President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua from 2009 to 2014. He subsequently taught at Tufts University as Professor of Practice in International Business and Public Policy at the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy from 2015 to 2017. He was the presidential candidate of the YPP, Young Progressives Party, in the country's general election in February 2019, and it looks like he might still be in line for the next election. We don't know yet. And that is the introduction of the great Kingsley Muoghalu. Okay, so in 10 minutes it's coming up. But within that period, we're going to give an opportunity to our old partners, Examansa, to say one or two things to us about their company and about insurance in general. I invite our own Big Bros to come and speak to us. Proud man. Well done.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, sir.
All protocols duly observed. I am coming with a different vibe this afternoon. And before I start, I'll say XJAYS. XJAYS. The important question I want to pose to all of you here is, if you drop dead now, what happens to your family? Did you get my question? I want to ask again. If you drop dead now, what happens to your loved ones. If you are thinking about it, you will take insurance. If you are planning for tomorrow, you will also think insurance. If you want to have advisory services with regards to planning your risk, you also think insurance. Somebody was talking about 100 million to start a business. I don't know how many people here that have 100 million. But I know that a lot of people are top-notch executives in the environment. What can you do if you don't have money? With 10,000 naira, you can have $1 million cover. Should you die now, your wife will start with 1 million naira. Before I continue, I want to appreciate the executives of our old boys for always partnering with us. Most especially, I want to appreciate Mr. Madu for believing in XJAYS for XJAYS. It is also good for you to know that we have paid claims to XJAYS that we have lost in the time past, about 3 of them. At least their families got 1 million naira. But aside what we do as group life, aside what we do as a corporate body, we can also carry out individual life insurances that can keep more for your family. You can start an investment today that is 5 years. 1 month down the line, you are no more. That sum assured will still go to your family. It is good for us to think about this and think about it very, very well. We have also lost some XJAYS that did not believe in insurance, and their families did not get anything from us. Let's also encourage this ESCO by at least keying into that group life to make life easier for them. Not when we lose someone, we'll be running around looking for funds to take care of them. And in all, I am here to talk to the younger XJAYS that are just leaving school. Everybody wants to jump 10 steps without taking a step these days. And I don't know why. Maybe that's what's obtainable in our environment. But the good thing is that I believe in XJAYS and we can change that narrative. You can start with little. I cover North and South for XJAYS, for AXA myself. I am willing to support anyone that wants a job. Start from somewhere. It is also good to note here that one of us just joined, and I have good testimonies. Please, is Mr. XJAYS here? Is XJAYS here? XJAYS has just started with us just 3 months, and I'm telling you, is the topic of that environment. Why? He is disciplined. They have seen a different. Somebody within 3 months is as if he has stayed 2 years already in the environment. That is because he is an XJAYS. It is because of the training he has gotten. Let us help and inculcate to the younger ones that we shouldn't follow the vibes of what we see on the streets of Nigeria. Let's not mention names, but you can start from small. So we are willing to partner. We are willing to support you guys in all that you want to do, as far as AXA Masai is concerned. Thank you very much.
Here too. We XJAYS, we are not proud people. We don't boast. But then, sometimes it's good to blow your trumpet. Especially if you have the type of trumpet that produces a very melodious tune. I'm here with these citations about speakers in the past. I want to proudly talk about the young man that just talked to us. Proud man, no go now. Our proud man is my own classmate. 14th of September 1981, we are admitted into juniors. And I know him for one thing. He's always on top of his game. Way back in our school days, a master dribbler, over the pitch to our photo. He was playing both junior and senior. I didn't know you get up to this height in stature, honestly speaking. So proud man is making us proud. I know that the era of storytelling in insurance company is gone. And Axad Mansard has never told us stories. They have paid their claims at the right time, courtesy of our proud man. I've been telling people, insurance does not mean, in Lagos, it is difficult to convince people about insurance. In my group in the church, they say, I shall not die. I shall not die. It has been written. Yes, it's written, but life and death belongs to God. So I call on us. Those of us that have not joined the insurance, the group life assurance policy of our XJAYS, I don't know what we are waiting for. Can you say the rest of them, they are not worse sinners than any of us here. But God said, your assignment on earth is done. If He says it, you can't. There's nothing you can do about it. So please, I join Albert and of course the S group to wake up those of us that are still, contemplating whether to join or not. Remember that if anything happens, we are on your own if you do not join. So please come on board. So Albert, thank you. We're proud of you.
Thank you, my senior co-MC. And sir, it is a small word, not to say you fit trek from Nigeria to London. I know. No matter how they listen, they do press up. You know, if came muscle like crocodile. Are we ready for the Zoom? Yes. We have to relax to enjoy this Zoom. Feel at home. Now, what to make visitors spoil remote. Are you ready?
Put this fucking thing on my head.